For anyone following me on really any platform will know that I talk a lot about passive income, diversifying your income, and how important it is to be secure as a business owner in terms of different revenue streams. And as a web developer and designer myself, developing and creating templates have always been a top of mind thing for me. But it's always been a bit tricky because I work primarily in Webflow, and Webflow has this official partner template library that you have to apply to be a part of. They do this so not just anyone can publish a template and the quality is going to be shit. It's a quality control. But the process of being approved for this program is quite extensive, and honestly I don't feel like going through it. And so I haven't really been exploring the template sort of world too much. That is until recently. There's a tool called Liquify Pro. It's developed by these guys on Twitter that also run a Webflow development studio. They do Webflow to Shopify conversions, among many other things I'm sure. And this tool, Liquify Pro, is made specifically for developing a website in Webflow and then converting it to a Shopify template where you have full design and functionality control. So anything you can do with the normal template that you buy in the Shopify official store, you are expected to be able to do with this converted Webflow Shopify template as well. And the reason I'm excited about this is because for a long time it's been more or less impossible really to grab a Webflow developed website and apply it elsewhere. And there are many different reasons for this, but the main one being that it's just not supported very well, for a good reason of course, because Webflow, the company, wants to keep their users within their platform, of course. It makes perfect business sense. But even by just exporting the code from Webflow, you're cut off from the CMS functionality that Webflow natively offers, because you're no longer relying on Webflow servers where their CMS is hosted. And so up until recently, as far as I'm aware, the most common tool to do a Webflow to Shopify to WordPress conversion was a tool called Udesly. And this tool Udesly is also similar to Liquify Pro in that you develop a website in Shopify. You develop a website in Webflow and you apply attributes to individual elements, which then Udesly in this case looks for these different attributes, apply it in a specific way, which then allows you to upload it to, for example, WordPress, where WordPress understands that, hey, okay, this is the content that I am seeing, and so this template should work in a specific way. Now that may sound great and all, and honestly, yes, it is great. I'm not here to shit on any tool at all. I'm not biased towards any tool. But from experience, when I have been using Udesly, it is very limiting, especially if you want to convert it to, for example, WordPress. And the reason why I say it's limiting is because, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to, after you've exported from Webflow, to actually edit the sections, like swap orders of different sections. There's no way to rearrange different blocks within sections, and there's no way to rearrange different elements within sections. So you can very quickly understand how it can cause a lot of issues. You can't really work with it after the fact. And to make any edits, you would then have to make those edits in Webflow, export it from Webflow, upload it into WordPress as a new theme again, and go through that process over and over again, which might feel a little bit tedious after a while. And so that brings me back to Liquify Pro. And before I say anything else, I just want to acknowledge that I am speaking highly of Liquify Pro, but I am not paid in any sort of way. The only thing I have gotten is access to their beta program to record this video, but I'm not paid. So with that said, what Liquify does is that it solves some of my primary pain points really, which is editability, functionality, and just ease of use. So just to give you a quick overview of how Liquify works. The recommended way is that you duplicate their already created Webflow template. You can clone it, it's a free template that they offer. This template has all of the components and pages that are required for any Shopify template to function as it's supposed to. So it's sort of the starting point, let's say. If you're familiar with Webflow, think of it as a Reloom kind of starter kit. And from there, you can do exactly whatever you want. Anything you would do with a normal website, you can do here as well. And when you have developed and designed the entire website, what you want to do is apply simple attributes. So Liquify Pro offers a range of, actually I think it's thousands, but let me double check that. Yeah, confirmed. Looking at their landing page, it says 10,000 different Liquify Shopify attributes. And when I say Liquify, that is one, the name of this product, Liquify Pro, and two, Liquify is also a coding template language made by Shopify and for Shopify templates. So it's a specific language, let's say. And this language offers a bunch of different attributes. And these attributes are used to identify what elements on the page should function how, essentially. So if you have a gallery on a product page, that gallery, those elements within that gallery have specific attributes applied to them. So if you have the main sort of thumbnail for a product, then that main image element has a specific attribute attached to it. And for example, if you're browsing a list of products, then that card containing one product, that card has a specific attribute to it as well. And this may seem a little bit complicated, and I guess if you're new to it, it could be. But for me, I'm very used to working in another tool for Webflow that's also using attributes called Whist. And with Whist, you can do like full web app builds, but that's for another video. And the reason I bring it up is because when you use a tool like Whist and have an external database that doesn't rely on the Webflow CMS, instead of just having a Webflow CMS collection element on the page that automatically populates all of the items from the CMS, what you here have to do instead is think of the element. So you have a wrapper, a list, and then an item. Think in that same exact way, but just that it doesn't render on the page immediately. So you have the product item within the list, which is within the wrapper. And then within that list, those different items will be rendered when you apply that in Shopify. Because Shopify, again, will know that those cards are products, and so that's where the list should be rendered from Shopify CMS. Okay, so not to get too technical here, let's go back to why I like Liquify Pro. So we have the functionality and flexibility of design and everything. But then from what I can tell, again, this is a new tool. I haven't done any like extensive testing with this, but from a first impression and my minor testing that I have done myself, the performance seems really solid. Again, because it's only using what Webflow is producing, and Webflow, I know, is producing very clean code. So Liquify, all it does is behind the scenes do the things necessary to package the contents from Webflow to a format that Shopify understands. And so it's just working with what it already has, meaning that it doesn't produce any like additional bloat. And then on top of that, something that was bothering me quite a lot actually when I was using Udesly to convert a Webflow site to a WordPress template was that there wasn't really any support. Last time I used Udesly, they have a Slack community where they supposedly provide support. But at the time of using it, I couldn't find any support because I was asking questions, but there was no responses to be had. And now that could have changed from last time I used it, so I'm not here to say that that's the fact right now, but I am explaining my experience as a user. And looking at Liquify, they have a solid Discord community. Last time I checked, it was, I can check right now on my computer. So it's 26 people live right now in the Discord community. So that just speaks for itself. And that's in a beta program, so it's very limited access to a few people. And yeah, there's 26 people live ready to provide support. And that could be staff and it could be other users. So all I'm trying to say is that they seem to be building a really solid community around this product, which has me super excited because it means that the support will continue. And as any serious like service provider, support is everything. Okay, so why am I talking about Liquify Pro? I'm not necessarily talking about that specific product. What I'm excited about is the ability to expand beyond Webflow. Because as a serious professional business service Webflow provider, I need to be able to meet the demands of my clients. And increasingly recently, I have been getting demands or requests rather from clients needing things outside of the Webflow platform, or just me seeing potential in being able to work outside of the Webflow platform. And so seeing tools like Liquify Pro emerge and be created and flourish so far has me so excited because one, it's going to allow me to work with clients that need Shopify builds, and two, it's going to allow me to build templates for Shopify Shopify, which 3 by extension allows me to diversify my income away from not only being fully reliant on client work. And I've talked about this many times in other videos, but diversifying my income is a main priority definitely right now for 2024. And building templates, for example for Shopify, is going to be a key part of that diversification. And honestly, I would recommend you to do so as well, because right now I would say that the Shopify template market is relatively untapped, to be completely honest. And you may react and say, well, Jonathan, have you even tried Googling Shopify template and you will see millions upon millions of results? And yes, I know that is the case. I know that's true. But the reason I say this untapped is because a lot of those templates are frankly quite low quality. And I'm not saying this to bash the people developing those. I'm just stating that as a fact. The quality of the current template market is pretty low. And so if you get into this market and produce quality content, quality templates that goes beyond the capabilities of the existing product that's out there, the existing templates, then you're going to be in a very good position and potentially set yourself up for a very successful business. So that's why I truly believe that it's an untapped market that I myself is 100% getting into, and I would recommend that you do too. And that also goes into my final point of a business that is not moving forward is by default falling behind. Because especially in the tech market, everything is constantly evolving, and we all know that by now with AI and everything. I mean, we recently saw the release of Sora, OpenAI's new video generation tool. Don't spend. Anyway, we have to keep evolving, keep extending our services, and keep learning new tools. With that said, see you in the next one.